Welcome, everyone. Thursday Night Live.
Thursday
Our
night live.
normal.
Let's get to it. Let's
Fourth
get
and
straight
nine to
to it.
victory. Fourth and nine to victory. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm not seeing anyone in the comments as of yet, but we'll go ahead and get started. Being what I'll do is I'll put our while you discussing topic one, and I'll put the topics into the. I know you can see it on the screen, but in the comments form. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, man, just how do you feel about so far? We haven't heard about anyone coming in. A lot of transfers going out. I know
we did get one come in. You remember Chris and Pierce, his brother came in.
Right. I know you like to put your GM hat on and things of that nature. So just overall, what's your impression as far as so far what we lost in the portal? How you feel about it? If there's anyone that we have lost yet, that you consider we shouldn't have let that guy get away.
Well, so far, I think the majority of people we lost that intends on transferring or hitting the transfer portal once that window opens haven't been really much of a contributing factor outside of one. And who is that? That's the defensive lineman or edge, or however you want to classify Devon Tompkins. Remember, he coming out of high school, he was actually a basketball player, developmental guy. Came in, had to add some weight on. And he's been really, productive over the past, couple of seasons. Some people felt like he was playing out of position his upcoming season. This past season, and we'll get into that as we get, further along into the live. But outside of him, I really can't think of any other players. We had the kid that transferred, the running back that transferred, that's planning on hitting the portal. I can't think of his name. What's his name?
Dalton or Jackson?
Dalton, and then Brian Jackson. That wasn't too much of a surprise to me. The running back room is stacked. You have to figure, with Waymo coming back. With Waymo coming back, he re-signed. You got to expect for them to sign King Miller. He was the bell cow after Waymo and Eli Sanders went down. And then you got the two freshmen that are coming in along with Riley Wormley. I do expect for them to keep Riley Wormley. He's the fifth running back. If he transfers out, we still be okay in the running back room. 4 running backs total, 2 with experience and 2 with no experience. It's kind of like, borderline, what if, the same thing happens again next season. So I think they want to keep 5 on the roster. Now, as far as anybody else, we lost the wide receiver DJ Jordan. He transferred out. He plans on transferring. Prince Strawn, the transfer from Boise State, he's going to transfer out, but he got hurt after one game, 1 or 2 games at the beginning of the season. He has really been too much of a factor. So,
not to cut you off, B, on that. I actually, either today or yesterday, I want to say it was Mark Coughlin that dropped. It was either yesterday or today, but he was saying that Prince Strong redshirted this year.
He redshirted. So, well, I can imagine. With him only playing 1 game, so he'll preserve that extra year for him to play. So, as far as like being productive for the Trojans, he wasn't productive for the Trojans because he didn't play. So I would say
the ankle injury.
The ankle injury, right? So I would say
like normally when you come back from a sprained ankle, I mean, if minimum was a sprained ankle, you're looking at 6 weeks, right?
Minimum,
so,
right.
So and he did it in the first week of the season, right? So we're looking at week 7 to 8. I don't have the guarantee or anything, but it's possible he chose the red shirt then. He seen what was out and who was ahead and how everybody was playing.
Yeah, I can imagine. So when you got Lane and Lemon in front of you, and then with the emergence of Tanook Hines, I can imagine him choosing to red shirt like that. Now, whether or not he plays in the bowl game, because the bowl game doesn't actually count against their eligibility, Who knows?
No, he's out. He's out.
He's out. Okay, he's one of the ones who would like to be out. Well, so far on my list, that's what I have. We really only lost one player to the portal that was potentially, could have an impact on next season. Black and Chan, what's going on? Shout out to Carter Sports in the chat. To Bob.
And to Bob, shout out BC, always ripping it on the show.
Yeah, most definitely.
Man, if y'all want to get these made, you can get the victory sign and all that. Holler at Black and Chan, man. I rock mine every game, every show, man. I love my. I don't know if you can see it.
Light the torch. Yep. So shout out to Black and Chan, B Jones, Raul, and Guns. Go ahead.
So as far as Porter transfers out, I'm in the same boat as you on that, right? I know you're the GM of the show, right? You always give the GM perspective. My perspective come from on the field, right? And when I look at the production, the output of what we lost, to me, last year Porter losses were far more greater than this year, right?
Yeah,
you look at last year, the way some of the fans are acting this year about the Porter transfers should have been last year, right? When you lose Deuce Robinson, you lose, Zach Branch, where you're losing starters, right?
And Pregnon. Don't forget about Pregnon and
Pregnon, big Pregnon, yeah. So right now, the only starter that we lost, Carter, you're saying next year. We're talking about as far as people who left that will start this year that had production. We're talking about what's manifested on the field. Mm-hmm. Was Tompkins. And the way I look at it is that the players we lost, if they were coming to USC, how would I feel, right? Mm-hmm. Based off the production that they put out at their last school. And if we're all honest with ourselves, we probably be saying, why are we getting this guy? You know what I mean? Why are we getting this guy? Because as far as production that was lost, we didn't lose much production. Right? A couple of players, of course, we love all our players. We never want to see anyone leave. We wish it was back in the 90s, early 2000s football. But this is the day and age of college football. It's going to happen every year. We're going to be having these conversations every offseason, right?
With the model that they're running now, this is pretty much a semi-form or a minor league form of the NFL, the same model,
right? And so one guy though that even Lions and everything, there was nobody I said back up the truck and pay and keep them, do whatever you got to do, right?
Right.
But I guess if I had to choose one, since we're talking about one guy, I love Michael Benuelin. Like, even though he didn't start,
I forgot about him.
He played a lot, and when he came in on that offensive line, he played well. Probably again wasn't going to be a starter next year, but definitely a piece that would have played with the amount of injuries we were taking this year at the offensive line. And he was a plug and play, step in and played great. So that'd be the one guy. Of course, Brian Jackson as well, right? But we do understand Jackson going on.
We forgot Walker Lyons. I forgot about him and Carl. I forgot about him too.
So again, out of everyone we lost, I'll say the top two people that had the most production would have been Lyons and Tompkins. Was the production just super high? But they were two starters. I think just from watching film, what came down with Walker Lyons is, we talked about it a lot, right? With Lyons, and it was good catcher.
Let me ask you a question.
Has to be a better pass. Has to be a better run blocker.
Let me ask you a question, Chris. Was Carter shouted it out, and shout out to Guns too. But was Conley a surprise for you?
Was he a surprise that he left?
Yeah, was Conley a surprise? Because I totally forgot about Conley, and he did contribute toward the end of the season.
It wasn't a surprise that he left, but it wasn't when he left. It wasn't a back up the Brinks truck, pay him, keep him, whatever you got to do, right?
Right.
Love the kid, great in run defense,
Right.
but we seen the struggles in pass defense. And yes, he's young and he has time to develop, but I don't think the play on the field warrant backing up a Brinks truck, right? I don't think the play of anybody that we have seen go to the portal warranted backing up the Brinks truck to keep him to stay. You know what I mean? With what's behind him and what's coming.
Well, I would say within the past 2 seasons, if anybody I would have backed up the Brinks truck for, it would have been Pregnon. It would have been Pregnon.
Right.
But at the time when Pregnon left,
we did, right? We did, but then Oregon came and backed up again.
Well, we didn't have the GM in place. I think that if Chad was here then, I think Pregnon stays. I think he puts together something to get Pregnon to stay. And Pregnon being on the offensive line, man, that would have gave Hanson so much more range, especially with some of our starters going out. But when you talk about handling that left guard spot, Pregnon was definitely an asset. And I think Pregnon was one of the transfers that came from Wyoming, right? Him in that defensive end. And he came in, he just pretty much just needed to fine tune some things. He was already strong. He already, had that college level strength. And he just needed to get, some techniques down, polish up on some things. And Pregnon was pretty much a plug and play. And you saw that was evident up in Oregon. As a matter of fact, I think he made the All-American team, either the first team or the second team. So
here's the things, right? Yeah. We got Pregnon not to go to the draft. He signed with us, said he was coming back, right?
Right.
Then Oregon came in and gave something bigger, right? So
right.
It wasn't that the attempt wasn't there to keep him. But again, I don't know if Chad keeps him depending on what he was asking for. I don't know Chad personally, but Chad seemed like one of them guys that, do you want to be here or not? If you agree to a deal with us and you talking to somebody else, you're gonna go anyway, right? So even if Chad was here and we agreed to that deal, and then he went to Oregon and he came back and said, well, Oregon offered me this, the deal would have been over anyway, because that's Chad rule. Like once you commit.
Well, the reason why I said that is I think Chad has more negotiating experience than Lincoln does, or whoever we had. Who was it? Mark Emmert. And I think he just has that that certain cachet about himself to where not too many recruits say no to him. Even when you talk about retaining the players, I don't think that he leaves. Pregnon leaves. This is my opinion. Even if Oregon may have offered him, maybe $50,000 to $75,000 more, it may have been more than that. I'm just speculating. I'm just saying that I think that we had the staff, the current administration that we have in place right now, I think we stood a better chance of Pregnon staying in Los Angeles.
I agree, but I'm saying if we had this current staff we have now, and we make that deal when he say he's coming back with us.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
It's done anyway. You know what I'm saying? He's gone because Chad, that's his rule. He don't play that. I see a lot of guys talk about Tompkins is looking at Oregon. I mean, I like Tompkins. Best of luck to him. If he go to Oregon, I wish him the best. But if he go to Oregon, when we play him at home, we need to run at him every time. we need to run at him every time.
What we need to do? What run at
him every time. I mean, I like him, but
OG D Lifer, man. Appreciate you joining the show, man.
I like him, run him every time. The film shows what it shows. I mean, as USC fans, and this is not talking about it, it's just talking about the film. I mean, you can go back to every game, but more importantly, you can go to the Iowa game, the Northwestern game, the Notre Dame game, the Oregon game, and you can see 7 to 8 yards off the ball.
Right.
You know what I mean?
In linebacker's lap, huh?
Right.
All right. Any other surprises at the portal? I mean, that's happened in the portal so far.
none of them been surprises, and none of them, like I said, I love all the guys. We appreciate and wish you the best of luck. It's definitely not talking negative on them. We're just talking portal needs of the team. Definitely, there hasn't been no one that's gone to the portal yet to where I've been upset and angry about it and said, "Oh no, we shouldn't have let him go." What's going on, Byron? Our dude Byron Gray. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's not, if you look at it from a production standpoint, right?
Okay.
We haven't lost a lot of production to the portal. Last year, we lost a lot of production.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And you would think we would have been an uproar like fans are last year. Like this year, we didn't lose much production. And again,
look at it because of the amount of people that's on the roster. We got to look at it
this way, B. Look at it this way, B. If you see, take the USC uniform off Tompkins, take the uniform off Carlon Jones, take the uniform off Conley, take the uniform, not just calling guys out of any of these guys.
I already know where you're going with it.
And watch the film, and you see the production, right? And you see the production, right? And then imagine we get a thing on our phone and it says, "Oh, USC just took this guy in the portal." What would you say? You're gonna be like, "Huh?" Right? Like, be honest.
Yeah.
Why would you bring this guy in?
I get what you're saying. Another thing they're gonna have to worry about, man. If you're not one of those top guys that you talk about, you hop in this portal. I hope you already got some place to go, man, because you're jumping in the portal with potentially 2,000 other players. Some some better than you, some are not. But I hope they got a potentially got a deal going down somewhere. If I'm a GM looking at the portal, will they be one of my top picks? More than likely not.
Right.
All right, let's get to it. What we're going to portal transfer wish list. Wish list.
What positions? Hey, Josh, before Lions even went to the portal, I said, man, Lions ain't coming back. I think Lions going to BYU with his brother.
And you and I talked about that off social media, right? We talked about that. By the time, here's the crazy thing. What's up, Lauren? By the time his brother gets to BYU, Walker Lyons might be out of there. So he was projected to be the top guy along with Bowen on next season. I don't know, why he was in such a rush to get out of there. You think about with Lake McCree going, who else was going to really challenge him like that? Probably nobody. But we'll say that for another show.
Yeah, I think the freshman coming in. The freshman coming in.
Yeah, Bowen. From Mater Dei, right. And also you got to remember they got that JC tight end that's coming.
That's what I was just about to tell you, right? And like I said, there's no knock on Lyons or anything, but we talked about it and watching film all year in his struggles to run block. You know what I mean? And in this 12-man personnel that we like to run, and in the run game, that got to be part of it.
Let's answer that question real quick. Before we get into the portal transfer wish list. Which players do B Jinx and Chris think worth keeping? I think the most important one. I just covered one. Hold on, Chris. I just covered one. The most important one was Jay Maiava. That was the most important player that the coaching staff had to retain for next season, considering the amount of big games that we got on the schedule. He was the most important one. I think them keeping him, yeah.
Yep. Keeping him, keeping Thanos, the same ones we think are important keeping. Look at the USC list who done signed back. Maiava,
he'll be signed back. Thanos.
Yeah,
definitely. The offensive lineman, what's his name? Tobias. He resigned.
Boucard, yep.
Yeah, Boucard resigned today. Yeah, so I think us keeping them was definitely a plus. All right, portal transfer wish list. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I can go first because we just
right,
of course we want to start the front seven of our defense, right? I mean, I think it's safe to say we all know that the front seven struggled. the front seven struggle, especially in run defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So definitely want to see some experienced guys come in on the inside that's
Mm-hmm.
put up some production. His name escaped me, that's why I was going slow. But it's a interior defensive line guy from Washington that's in the portal,
I know
number
you're
92.
talking about this in portal.
Yeah, I sent him in our group chat the other day with everybody. And I can't even think of his name right now. But definitely, interior defensive line. Hey, guns. Bryce Butler.
Here it is.
There we go.
Here it is. Yeah, here it is.
Yep. I'll about to tell Guns to throw the name in there. Definitely linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but I also think we need an experienced, that's been productive on D1 level wide receiver. Our top receiver coming back, our most productive wide receiver is going to be a true sophomore. And I mean, we have some fantastic freshmen coming in, but we need an experienced wide receiver in there. Marsh is good. I don't know what his asking price is looking like, and
I'm seeing Ohio State was the front runner. Was the front runner. I thought somebody posted. Yeah,
Lauren put that in there.
Okay.
That Ohio State is the she's hearing that I haven't really seen anything on it yet to confirm or deny. Auburn has a receiver productive going in there. Colorado, if just to get some experience.
I heard he's rumored to LSU. Colorado, you talking about Mario Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard he's rumored to LSU.
Yeah. And so the thing is, we're gonna have to get on it. You know what I mean? We're having a lot of departures and making space. But again, me and you talked about it. I think we will start. I don't know if the staff is waiting on who's leaving from these playoff teams. And if so, that could be a good sign. I mean, you talked about it, right? All these other schools are tampering. Maybe they got a list of people already that they already know that's coming. That's why they're making room. Everybody else tampering. Why we ain't tampering?
Trust me. Players on certain squads and agents are talking. They talk via social media. They slide into each other's DM. So again, I'm like, if everybody else is doing it, why not us do it too? Especially with all of the resources that USC has. It's about time that we start playing on the same level as everybody else and stop trying to, put ourselves at a notch above just to say, hey, look, we've never done something. It seems like we always come up with the short end of the stick whenever we do that, but I'll say that for another time. Yeah, go ahead.
B, you called my boy out yesterday, so go ahead and show his
who?
Go ahead and show his message.
Who? You talking about Guns?
You called Guns out last night because I do want to talk about this guy. Brown from Kansas State. He's a good wide receiver.
Is he?
Number one. Okay. Oh yeah, he's a good wide receiver, productive wide receiver, experience, can take the top off of it, good hands, run every route. He's definitely a good wide receiver. Josh Gates, Ryan Williams. I'm not a fan of that. I mean, Ryan Williams fell off bad this year.
You want to know what somebody pointed out to me about Ryan Williams, and you may want to go back and watch some film on him.
He drops a lot of balls.
Well, you know why? In order for him to catch the ball, he has to trap it to his body. He don't catch it with his body.
He don't catch with his hands.
Yeah. So and it's been really noticeable this year. A lot of those balls bounce off his shoulder pads. In that game when they played against Georgia, I saw it for myself because my brother, he's a Florida Gator fan, and I was watching the game up his house, down his house. He was like, "Look at him! He doesn't catch it with his hands; he traps it with his body." And I looked, and the one he dropped in the end zone hit his shoulder pad. I'm like, "What the heck? What's that?"
Yeah, and then he dropped in the first game against Georgia. He dropped the bomb for a TD. He dropped at least 5 TDs this year.
Right. But for me, I'm going to say my portal wish list, of course, on the offensive side of the ball, you make a great point with the experienced wide receiver. Now that Lemon and Lane are both gone off to the NFL, we got Prince that left, DJ Jordan that left, but definitely nobody coming back with that and enough game experience. I think we keep Jaden Richardson. I think he's coming back. Of course,
no,
guys,
he's gone.
He's gone. All right, so Who we got coming back outside of
Zachariah Williams.
Zach Williams? That's what I meant. That's who I meant. Zach Williams. Appreciate that. Zach Williams. To Nook Hines, he'll be wide receiver number 1. But then we've got the freshman coming in. I also think that we need to take a center in the portal. I said this last season. Remember, I said that we need to take a center in the portal just for insurance purposes. We have both our centers go down this year. Fortunate enough, knock on wood, they went down at separate times to where one was able to come back, right after the other one went down. But ideally, you want to have at least 3 solid, dependable centers on your roster, just in case the unfortunate happens. Let's flip over to the defensive side of the ball. I said we need at least 2 interior defensive linemen, 2 to 3 linebackers, one experienced safety, and 1 experienced cornerback. So that brings me to a total of probably about 8 to 10 players that I think that we need to sew up in that transfer portal, but definitely along that defensive line and that linebacker.
Most definitely. And while we're talking about portal transfer wish list, what do you think about the Young Tiny was good situation around the future of our quarterback position?
Of course, like I said, the main player I was looking at retaining was the captain of the ship, Jay Maiava. If you could,
no. The future of our quarterback.
Yeah, I got that. I'm going to lead into that. I'm leading up to it. I'm leading up to it. So what that does, though, it gives our backup Longstreet another year to sit and learn. Now, I do think that he'll get some packages in this bowl game if he doesn't decide to jump in the portal. But as far as the future, I think right now we're set. The way it falls, the way it staggers, from Maiava to Longstreet. Maiava handed the keys to Longstreet after his second year of waiting. By the time he gets ready to start, he'll be a redshirt sophomore, and then he play a couple of years and then hand the keys off to Jonas Williams. That's ideal. That's the ideal situation, right? Let's just say it didn't happen it didn't happen that way, and for some reason, Longstreet decides to pull a Malachi Nelson and hit the portal. Then, of course, with Riley being the quarterback guru that he is, the quarterback whisperer that he is, I don't think that we'll have any problems with finding a serviceable backup in the portal in order to, help, be that insurance policy for Jay Maiava. Now, who knows, we could have another Caleb Williams in the waiting with Jonas Williams, right? You remember Caleb Williams at Oklahoma coming in and pretty much winning that Texas game single-handedly, and he just took it from there. Sure, he wasn't totally polished, but look at the player he grew into. So ideally, Maiava hands the keys over to Longstreet, and then Longstreet hands the keys over to Williams. But, looking at it from a half glass empty, Longstreet leaves, and we have to hit the portal for a backup.
All right. So let me ask the question more directly. Is Longstreet going to the portal in your opinion or not?
It wouldn't be wise for him to do it. But he's probably one of the more higher paid QBs that's holding the clipboard in college football, from what I understand. He got a big bag to sign last season. And they're probably looking at, handing him something similar for this season. But I understand the kid wants to play, but you got to look around the landscape of college football. Where else are you going to go and start? And if you're going to sit on the bench, I'd rather sit on the bench for Riley, learn up on a Riley for another season, and then take over, as opposed to going somewhere else and not, it not panning out the way that you think it's going to pan out.
So me personally, I don't think he's going to the portal. Homeschool from there, loves the program. He redshirted this year. Still got some playing time. Still got 4 years. Right. After next year, he'll have 3 years to start. I don't see him, going into the portal. Even when he was committed to Texas A&M, he was still flirting with USC because we would start recruiting him late and all that, but we was able to pull him because that's where he want to be. His brother's there as well. I don't think he's going. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just talking about Longstreet, Blackie.
Yeah.
BC. Yeah. All right.
Let's get to the main event. Let's get to the main event, baby. What everybody came for. And I know one person in particular ready to talk about this one, right?
Yeah, Carter Sports.
Well, Carter, where you at, man? I know you ready to talk about this one.
Right,
That's
BC. That's what BC. That's what we were saying. Tell Malachi Nelson.
Look at what happened
Tell
to
Malachi
Nelson.
Nelson to come talk to him.
Yeah. Tell him to give him his social media page.
Yeah, tell him come talk to him, man. That's if I was Riley, that's what I do. I have every quarterback that's ever left now, they come back and tell my backup, what life was like once they left.
Shout out to the Wealth TV. Shout out to the Wealth TV.
Yeah, let's talk about this. So the rumors are out, right?
Again.
Right. It seemed like it's more where there's smoke, more there's fire this time, right? It seemed like it's really, really, possible. Nothing has been concrete yet. Deontay Lynn and the defense were supposed to, speak to the media after practice Wednesday. Then they moved it to Thursday, and then they canceled it all together. So I mean, don't know yet, but all signs are pointing that it's possible that he really can be going to his alma mater, which is Penn State. First off,
he had the opportunity last season to go to Penn State. Remember?
Yeah, when we upped that money
last season. Yeah, when we upped that money, then all of a sudden now, okay, he have a change of heart. It's still the same Penn State.
Yeah, but it might they might be offering him even more money.
Oh man, listen.
But here's the thing, right? First off, if Deontay Lynn chooses to leave, wish him the best, just like with the players and all that. Personally, I don't have a problem with Deontay Lynn, his scheme or anything like that. Like I said, we break down the film all the time, and the issues with our defense, it wasn't from a schematic point of view, right? That was the problem. Now there's some other decisions and things people can question, but as far as the scheme, the scheme wasn't the issue. Second, if he do go, I can't blame the man. It's his alma mater, right? Mostly everybody want to go coach at their alma mater, and go back home, right? I mean, we hear that story all the time. And even if it's not their alma mater, if they just from the state, that's his home state, so you can't blame them. But the rumors are out there. If he do chooses to go, I know a lot of people were concerned about recruiting and things like that. And it's like I stated on the Light the Torch show yesterday. We have 4 of the top recruiters in the nation out of the top 12. 4 is at USC, none named Deontay Lynn. I don't think it'll hurt our recruit in the future. I don't think that recruits are going to decommit from the 26 class over the move. I know one parent, shout out to Light the Torch again, B. Jones had shared it with us. One parent was like, hey, we understand the situation. If he leaves, we're still here. We love USC, right? It's the same reason I don't think the class is going to fall apart. The same reason I said, even at the beginning of the year, I mean, even if we go 7 and whatever, only have 8 wins, I don't see this class falling apart because this 26 class, homegrown, they want to be at USC, they love USC, and they feel like we are the class that's going to bring us back, USC back to dominance. Like, that's what they all were saying when they were signing and when they were committed and being bought in. Then you got to look at a lot of these kids in this 26 class, all from the same, Central California area and all that. They've been playing against each other and playing with each other and 7-on-7s and all this other stuff. So it's a dream for people to grow up together, know each other, and then be able to play together, right? Sometimes you can't, depending on where you live. You might be in different high schools. Well, you can now because you can transfer like you transferring in college and high schools.
Right.
But I don't think it. The question comes into play though is that if he do decide to leave, who do you bring in?
Right. Well, here's the thing. You got to know, and I'm not sure how this will work out, but you got to think, or you got to believe that if he does leave, hypothetically speaking, I don't want to see the guy leave. That's just my opinion. But if Lynn does leave,
we know somebody in this chat who want him to, though.
Yeah. If he does leave and you bring in somebody new, this is if you bring in somebody new and not hire anybody or promote anybody currently from within, from within the defensive staff. you got to know that whoever you bring in, you got to give them a ladder to bring in their own staff, which means that you're going to lose. Which means that you're going to lose some position coaches, right? Now, all of these positions.
You know what, B? Real fast. You make a good point because that negates everything I just said, right? Because then we will lose recruit. Because then we're
that's
talking
what
about
I've been saying, and that's what I've been saying the whole time.
Belk, who's a top recruiter, because Belk is a top recruiter. Yeah. If the staff go, you're right.
Right. That's what I've been saying the whole time. A lot of people were saying, well, hey, look, just because Lynn leave doesn't necessarily mean we're going to lose any recruits. That's provided that
the staff stay together.
Yeah, that's to provide that the staff stays together. But if the staff does not stay together, let's just say hypothetically speaking, they bring in another defensive coordinator, somebody with experience. And I got what you're saying, Trojan, first that Belk and Henny is co-defensive coordinators, but we got so much riding on. Shout out to B. Jones. We got so much riding on next season, man. They made Bowden and Riley might want to go out and get somebody with experience. So you got to give them the latitude. Whoever this new DC is, you got to give them latitude to bring in their own staff, which means that the coaches that we love, Coach Henny, Coach Noah, Coach Belk, Coach Reed, they may not be on the staff next season if you bring in somebody else, which means that as a result, as a snowball effect or a domino effect, you're going to lose some of these players that we got. So I would like for him to stay. I understand that you can't continue to negotiate with him every season. I thought, from my understanding, that Lynn was signed to at least a 2 or 3 year contract, but that can change if Penn State decides to buy him out, buy out his current defensive coordinator position. But me personally, if he's going to leave, I would want to see him leave for a head coaching position, not for another defensive coordinator position. To me, especially at a school, I feel that it's a lower tier than USC. Now, of course, that's where he played. That's his alma mater. But there's so much turmoil over there at Penn State right now that, taking a job over there, it may be sentimental to him. But who's in a better position to win right now? Is it USC or Penn State? That's who I would want to stay with and up my experience and potentially get me a head coaching position, not another lateral move.
Yeah, B. Jones, I think you got on a little late, man. I had gave you a shout out about the parents note you sent and talked about that and said appreciate it. So let's move it on to like who in case it does happen, who you can see in the role or who would you want to be in the role?
First name,
Blackie Chan. Real fast, BC was, Texas defensive coordinator got fired, right? And they brought back Will Muschamp.
Yeah. First name I've been hearing has been the coach that they considered last season, but they couldn't bring him in. What was his name? Jim Leonard. I want to say
2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah, Jim Leonard. But I want to say he was at what was he at? Wisconsin? Was that the Wisconsin? Yeah, I think he was at Wisconsin. The other name I heard was Tony White, who left Nebraska and went to go be the DC at Florida State. But these Florida State defensive, their defense sucked this season, so you don't want him. Another name I've been hearing floating around is what's my name? Lake, that's with the NFL now. Used to be the head coach at Washington. What's his name? Jimmy Lake.
Mm-hmm.
I heard his name floating. So a lot of people would like to see Coach O from a sentimental standpoint. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. But if I had to say tops, it would probably be Jimmy Lake from the NFL or either this guy Leonard. Or Belk had some experience as a defensive coordinator at Houston, didn't he?
Yeah, he came from Houston. He was a defensive before he came with us. He was a DC at Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I know people saying promote from within. I don't think Henny's ever called plays, and the way his position group played this year, I don't, nothing against him. I don't know if I want him calling plays. Mm-hmm. We need to focus on that and get that cleaned up. A couple of names that I like. Shout out to my boy Guns, right? Ryan Walters. I did some research and some looking into him.
Where's he from?
He's the DC at Washington right now.
Right
He was a
now?
head coach.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Okay.
was a head coach at Purdue, and then he's the DC at Washington. He fits kind of that swag that we're in right now. He's a younger coach. You know what I mean? Full of energy, good there. I think that'll be good. I also like Jonathan Smith. Always have good defense, right? Michigan State let him go. What, in 2 years? They didn't really give him a chance after the scandal that they had. But I think he's a good legit DC man. And so everybody is running, it's 3-4, everybody running.
The coach from Cal was a good defensive coordinator too. The one who just got fired.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
What's his name? Chan. I know Chan. Black BC know his name. What is his name? The one who just got fired from Cal.
Justin Wilcox.
Yeah, Justin Wilcox. Yeah. He's pretty good defensive coordinator.
And I'm gonna tell you another one, because I was saying when we were looking for a defensive coordinator 2 years ago.
Okay.
That I thought would be good, because for one, if you look at everybody running this 3-4 and this hybrid, you know what I'm saying, of the the 3-3, you know what I'm saying, and with these right. 5 DBs and 6 DBs a lot, TCU coach who specialized, you know what I'm saying, in the 4-2-5 and things like that. Gary Patterson, great defensive mind, right? Was at TCU for a long time. Eventually,
I know who you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
but he done a lot of great things at TCU, and he knows defense, and he knows college. I know a lot of people are saying, look to the NFL, bring guys from the NFL. I'm kind of getting off of that, because the NFL coaching don't seem to be translating for us, right, on the field. And it like I said, it could be just a difference when you coach in the NFL. You're not really having to like develop and teach guys. You can give them a playbook, right, and focus on more schematic things, not fundamental things. You get to college, you kids straight out of high school who just been bigger and faster than everybody, running them over. They don't have technique and all that. They need development. So on the coaching level, you got to be able to do that. And so I'm kind of staying away from saying let's go to the NFL to get a defensive coordinator and get somebody who has college experience and who's used to coaching on this level and on a college game. BC said go get Indiana.
Indiana, DC. Hey, but did you see my question in the chat though? I did. And I want to know this from everybody that's on the live right now. If Lynn does leave, are you guys? And I know some people want him out. If Lynn does leave, are you cool with losing some of these defensive coordinators that we got? Not defensive coordinator. I'm sorry, position coaches. Are you guys cool with losing some of these position coaches that we got? Because you got to give the new DC latitude to bring its own staff in. And me, if you're going to hire me and I lose, I want to lose with my guys, not with nobody else's guys. That's just my perspective. I want to lose with my guys. That's potential. You don't think that we might lose Henry or Belt, but Noah is a great defensive DN coach. He's a great D-line coach. And there's no he said, B said we can get rid of Noah and Ryan.
So here's my thing. Here's my thing on Ryan, right? Everybody giving him a bad rap, right? For how the linebackers played this year. You got to remember, Ryan didn't come into the spring. These are not guys that he recruited. These are not guys that he was even able to work with over a year. He came in the spring. Desmond Stevens didn't get much playing time last year. This is his first year really playing. In high school, he played safety, right? Eric Gentry playing the Mike and Will is really not the positions you want Gentry in as linebacker. Gentry plays better when you have 2 downhill linebackers and he can move around like a queen, like he did last year, where he could be on the line and be on the edge and get moved all around. So, like, to really look at the linebacker play this year and kind of put that on on that coach, I don't really think that's a fair assessment. I think we have to let it play out. At least let's see what they look like, next season and what Stevens' development is. Well, I didn't call him a queen. I said like a queen in chess. Queen in chess can move all around and do everything.
Josh knows that. So
and here's the thing, right? And everyone's saying, the coach that came from North Dakota State, he's a head coach at Fresno State, right? They're like, oh, the linebackers look better. You got to understand, those wasn't even his linebackers, right? Remember, he came in the spring, but he had 2 experienced linebackers who already had production on the college level. He had Cobb and Masquerades Arnolds, who were already made linebackers, right? That were experienced downhill and physical. It's a totally different situation than this year to what Ryan came in. So it's not a fair assessment at all.
Most definitely. Yeah, I just, and if you don't like Lynn, I get it. That's your personal opinion. I do think that he was great. Well, my running mate said he really didn't make it in the second half adjustments. The players just played better, but you got to be at the same time. You got to hold these players accountable, because I always say it's the same 100 yards in the first half as it is in the second half. What's stopping our players from playing like that, lights out like that in the first half? What's going on? And especially in big games, when we lose games like to Oregon, to Notre Dame, which against Notre Dame, that was just awful, man. Will we give up 300 on the ground? What's the difference, man? I don't get it. So Illinois, I think that was something. I tell you what, against Illinois, if we play that game in Los Angeles, we definitely win that game by 2 touchdowns. That was a suspect, situation. But with Notre Dame and Oregon, man, you got to be able to get these players to play up to, their potential in the first half, just like they do in the second half. We shouldn't have to depend on going up 2 scores in order for our defense to come out and look like, a top 25 defense. So if he leaves, again, you got to allow the new DC, and the link is in the chat, you got to allow the new DC the latitude to bring in his own staff. It's only fair to him. Because, again, if I'm going to lose, I want to lose with my guys, not with nobody else's guys. I want to, want some guys I could trust that's going to teach technique the way I want it taught, so I can run the scheme the way I want it ran. So hopefully he doesn't leave, but who wants to put up with somebody else, young Tiny? Who wants to put up with a coach flirting with another school for the same position every season? I don't care if it is your alma mater. If you're not leaving USC for a head coaching position somewhere like Matt Ince did, then what's the purpose of you interviewing for another DC job somewhere else? I saw somebody else in the chat pose a question. Do we think that he's being pushed out the door? I don't think that's the case. Young Tiny, man, appreciate you joining us. What you know, my man?
All the time, man. These dudes need to stop pocket watching other players, man. These dudes are pocket watching other players, man, and that's, you know what I'm saying? Feeling like they should get this or they should get that.
What you think about the whole Lynn situation? That's been
B. Jones, call in.
Yeah, call in, B. Jones.
I feel like I feel what you just said is very accurate. I feel like, sure, if the play, can we really say because ultimately, like you saying, it's not for a head coaching job. It's just a shift over. It's just a lateral move. And if it was that significant to you, you would have got on, so is it money or is it, you would have got on already. So better opportunity. We can't knock coaches, but sure, we got to know visit policy for recruits, so I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. I don't want to hear this every off season. You flirting with your alma mater. Like you didn't go interview for Cal head coaching job, or you didn't go interview for, you know what I'm saying, a head coaching job where we can't knock that you trying to move up, and you know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, I don't know his personal but I would feel like a majority, 80% of coaches want to eventually be a head coach. Some are just happy with being coordinators forever. You know what I'm saying? because everybody's not a head coach. But I'm just saying, I don't want to keep hearing that, bro. You know, I don't want to keep hearing that, man.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, Tiny. Like I said, if you're leaving for a head coaching position, I can't knock that because everybody wants to grow. You're looking for growth. You don't want to, be up under someone else's, leadership. You want to, as a man, you want to become your own head coach. You want to develop your own staff.
If that's your ultimate goal,
right, if that's your ultimate goal. But here we are talking about it again. After the second year, you flirting with your alma mater for the same position. And to me, I get that's where you play ball at. But to me, Penn State is not on the same level as a USC. When we talk about from a resource standpoint, we talk about from a history standpoint. I don't even think Penn State is Penn State considered to be a blue blood. I don't think that they are. So here we are in another contract negotiation, for you heading for a lateral move. Now, you had the opportunity last season. I don't know whether or not he got wind that, Franklin might be let go. Well, if that was the case, they could have slid you right on into the head coaching position.
Right. Or maybe they telling him that now.
Yeah. What's the deal with you flirting with these dudes? And now they got a new coaching staff, new head coach. What's the name of the coach over there? The guy from Iowa State? Campbell? Yeah, he's a new coach over there. So that's just my opinion, man.
It might be a money grab, though.
J.A., welcome to the show, my man. You think it's a money grab? J.A., you there?
Well, just remember earlier this season, he emphasized his focus on building USC's defense and improving the unit, not entertaining outside offers, if I'm quoting him properly. I remember it was like something that came out like that. Now I know things changed, but that was earlier in the year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
everybody, that's the politically correct.
Yeah, that's that's what I'm getting at, Christian. That's what I meant. Like, that was the political way, but like, we already kept him once. You know what I'm saying? We liked him with the
extension. Don't think it's a money grab.
Two quick things real fast. We'll bring you in, Jay. Somebody was saying this. It could be a mutual part in other ways. I don't think it's a mutual part in other ways, but because from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, that the hold up, even if he do go, is they're trying to figure out, how much is his buyout, etc. So it ain't a mutual part in other ways. Because if it was a mutual part in other ways, USC just let him go and take anything, right? So I don't think it's that. But whatnot. Second of all, let me ask you this. You don't have to tell your personal business, but I just want you to think about your job, right? That you work, right? And just say your job pay you $100,000 a year, right? To do whatever you do for a living, for everyone, whatever you guys do. Think about your job, right? And somebody hit you up on LinkedIn and say, "Hey, I see you have this experience. We do the same thing over here. This is the job role and title, and this is the pay. And you see that the pay is an additional $20,000 to $30,000 to do what you're doing now. Are you not going? Would you entertain that job on LinkedIn? That interview?
Additional 30K. For the additional 30K?
You said for 230K or just for 30K extra? I didn't hear you. Christian, how much more?
I'm just throwing the number out. Say it's 30, 40K extra a year.
Oh yeah, I mean it's factors that will come into that. If you got to move your family, how far it is, it's a lot more factors than just the money. But sure, I mean, it's even within the job, like it's just more factors. But I hear what you're saying. I mean, we all, let's be honest, we all gonna entertain it, right? To see what it's about.
We're entertaining, but you also have to think about, how long
Josh, give me one second.
You have to think about how long you've been with your current company. If you do just so happen to take that position, you're gonna be, the last in over there. So if layoff ever come, it's a whole last in first out situation. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to think about tenure as well. Now, if it's only 30 to 40K, I might have to really think about that, especially if I've been on my current position for 15, 20 years. But if it's
but I think
go ahead.
I was gonna say, but I think also we also have to look at it from a coaching broad perspective, right? So we're all talking about, okay, we got to get a new defense coordinator. He wants to bring in his whole crew, right?
Right.
So it's okay, but this dude already got his crew here and they're paid. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna take my crew over to a whole nother area, and I'm sure they look at a lot of things, tax purposes, or like, what the tax reduction to be, all that good stuff, right? But it's like, man, I got my crew here. We're in Southern California. We've been building. We got the #1 recruiting class. So like when you say like 130K, okay, that sounds good. But when you're in that type of level, and if we're saying that he's gonna take his crew, it ain't just about me. It's about my whole team.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at things as a team aspect, which what we want at SC, and that's what I mean when I don't know if you guys heard me. I was like, is it a money grab? Like, okay, we brought in the #1 recruiting class. We have they have everything at their exposure in regards to resources. So like we got all the resources, we got everything in Southern California. They're giving us all the money, and then a lot of times people will be like, "Oh, well, they're paying all these players and they're doing all this." Like maybe we could go.
JA, let me ask you a question. So you're saying that he would be contemplating taking his staff with him, because I don't think all of those coaches.
I don't think all those guys are going to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about any coordinator that comes in should then leave. You got to allow that coordinator the latitude to bring his own staff. Yeah.
Well, I think this would be a great question for Christian, because I know he can look it up. Christian be about all the analytics.
I mean, I feel like
Ohio State won the national championship last year and let their defensive coordinator go to Penn State.
And their coordinator go to the Raiders.
Exactly. And look at them this past year. So it's really about like who's running the top of the organization.
Right.
And I think that's where it comes in to our power of having the GM we have.
That's what I was just about to say, bro. That's exactly what I was about to
say. It don't come down to just who running the organization. It come down to them having a top 3 or 4 class for the last 10 years, and they got them great players. And it don't matter who come in and coach them boys.
Yeah, but they let the DN and the old court and the offensive coordinator go, and then they ran it. I mean, they didn't win. They didn't win the Big Ten this year, but they was at the top of the nation the whole entire year.
And they was stacked with talent from head to toe.
Okay, right. And now we got a GM that's stacking us with talent.
Yeah, but this is new talent though, JA. It's not like
but I believe he can reciprocate what he's doing right now. I believe the GM can keep it going.
Put what J-Dub said. There you go.
J-Dub says Ohio State got the talent. Coaching don't matter when they have a championship talent depth. It's the same thing with Alabama, right? So Alabama was on a roll for a minute, and I agree with you to a certain extent, JA. You talk about a great coach like Nick Saban. He would just hire coordinator after coordinator. He didn't lose the entirety of the ship. So, but most importantly, he didn't lose the entirety of those recruiting classes either. Now, when the NIL came and the portal hit at the same time, we talk about parity across the nation. He started losing some of those recruits. That's when you start seeing a decline, and he started tally up more losses. Yeah, he got out of Dodge, but because he saw what was coming from a talent level being spread out and him being challenged, he started losing.
And everybody and NIL being equal playing field.
But now all we hear about is the fact that all the kids love Lincoln Riley, and then also we hear about how they love Bolton.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
But so it's like it ain't about like DeAnton Lynn. It's not about like the just like, and it's not knocking the staff at all because we got a great staff. But I'm just saying that they're like, oh, okay, no, we like how they're doing this, and then everybody love Cohen, who's really running the show.
And so what it is talked about a little earlier, and B Jones, he actually had sent some stuff too, man. So a lot of what's up, Mike? A lot of the players like we have been previously stating, they're committed to USC. I mean, even some players' parents came out and said, no matter what happened with Lynn, we love Lynn. We hope he be here, but if he goes, we're staying. We like USC and what it's building.
Absolutely.
I want to touch on something that you said when you brought up Alabama and what Nick Saban did great at.
Right.
When he did lose those coordinators, right? Same thing that Jay was just saying, what happened with Ohio State. And you look at their coordinators, right?
And then they just lose what's the name right now? The wide receiver part line?
Hold on. Harline is at South Florida now.
Yeah,
But
so he bounced too.
Yeah, this year.
Yeah.
But one thing they did a good job at is that, check it out. When Lincoln Riley, when Nick Saban lost coordinators, guess what
He kept
he
players.
hired in? He hired in for position coaches, people who used to be head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. He
Start
did.
Kiffin, he ran through him.
His coordinator positions was always people by someone who was a head coach somewhere else. Joe Boyd, what's going on, my guy? And that translated out. I mean,
Tristan, that's a great point, because that's why when I tapped in, I was like, that's why somebody like Jonathan Smith coming in, we all know that dude's like a top tier coach to me in all of college football. But
I love when he said Jonathan Smith and Justin Wilcox. Like I love those names when he had brought those names up. But I feel like also too though, like let's not forget, bro, like before Lynn came, we were flustered about our defense, right? And why I feel like on the other side of it, why I feel like us as fans have reason to feel cautious is because, like, let's just be real. Like, I know some people still have their dismay about him, but he losing the key defensive architect, it could hurt like continuity. Like he let's keep it real. He's improved our defense significantly.
Every year.
It's probably not where we every year. It's probably not where a lot of people expect or whatever, but he took a unit from bottom tier to respectable in one season. You see what I'm saying? So if he leaves, we would need to find someone who could keep that progress going. And coaching changes late in the cycle always carry risk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
he took us in his first year from 111.
Come on now.
The only way I see is
hold on, baby.
Right, go ahead.
He in his first year, he took us from 111th in the nation in total defense to 77, right?
Come on, Christian. Come on now.
And then from last year to this year, he took us from 77 to 43.
Come on, man.
So the process and improvement, right? And from last year, we got more tackles for loss, more sacks, every major category. We even ranked higher in pass defense this year, right? So the improvement has not. There go Carter. He
is Tiny. He is right here. He is.
Hey,
Carter birthday.
The improvement has been there year over year, right? And the thing about it is, like, we're just now seeing this year with the 26 class coming in, these guys really getting their guys, right? Mm-hmm. And having the NIL to get the guys that they were losing in previous years after they would commit, then decommit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I know we want our defense to turn the switch on, and we wanted it to be much better, especially against the run. Nobody, and B, my partner B, you can tell them nobody wanted the rush defense to be better than I did this year.
Man, I noticed it. All right, no.
You know what I'm saying?
I just look at it like him keep looking and him keep going. And I think when we hired him, we already knew this type of thing would happen. I don't think we thought it was going to happen this consistently, though, like year after year, and then going to the same school.
We thought it would happen to the NFL. We thought it would
like it would be like an upgrade. So it's like, now you got to look at it like, oh, okay, are you in the foxhole with me? Are we down here together? You know, like, are you in it with all the players?
Hold on, J.A. Carter, you there?
Oh, Lord, here we go. Carter Sports.
Carter Sports.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, big dog.
We talk about your favorite person, man.
Man, Lynn need to kick rocks, bro.
Well, hold on, Chris. Why is that, Carter?
Because first of all, you ain't loyal. You looking at Penn State every year. You want to think about going to Penn State. First of all, that's a downgrade. So your mind ain't right. First of all. Second of all, if you think about leaving, you ain't believing in what you building at SC then. And then y'all talking about he improved the defense. Whoop-de-doo, we was 100. You don't get credit for improving 100 ranked defense.
Hold on,
we probably would have been better the next year anyway, just off the chassis. Like we was ranked 100 something before he came. Lynn need to kick rocks. He ain't loyal.
So you said, hold on, Carter. Let me get you. Hold on, Chris. Let me get to understand, Carter. So you saying he don't get credit from taking a defense from ranked 100 and something in the nation to up to 77, then up to what is it, Chris? 34 or 43?
43.
He don't get credit for
Look,
that.
see, look. Y'all too caught up in the stats.
What do you
At the
mean?
end of the
That's
day,
those are
hold
results.
on. I'm gonna let y'all cook. This y'all channel. I gotta let y'all cook.
Go ahead.
I just want to get mine off.
Hey,
I just want to get mine off.
Young China, you hear this, man?
Yeah,
Hold
I hear,
on,
bro.
let me finish.
Go ahead,
Let me finish.
Carter, go ahead.
Y'all looking at stats, right?
That's what you
Y'all
supposed to
sound
look
like
at.
LeBron James fans. You feel me? I don't
Okay.
care about the stats. As a USC fan, our defense was still trash. When we was 100th ranked, I looked at the game and said, I don't have no confidence in this defense. We gonna lose because our team trash. And I was doing that this year. So I don't care that we climbed up the rank. When I watched the game, it wasn't good enough. And it was the same thing every game. The defense didn't play better to the second half. Lynn got to watch you play for 2 quarters to for the defense to play right. No, he need to kick rocks. We could do better. We are USC. If we was UCLA, I'll say, yeah, we got to keep Lynn. But nah, we USC.
All right,
We
so
could
let me
get
ask
the
you a
best.
question,
He
Carter.
ain't the best.
Before everybody else go, let me ask you a question, Carter. What were we doing before Lynn got there, Carter?
I don't. We was Grinching. Just because you're better than Grinch, don't mean I need to be satisfied with you. Just because my last girl was a hoe and you kind of a hoe. No, that word could fly on YouTube, bro. That word could fly. Trust me.
Hey, young
I've been
China,
doing this. But just because you a promiscuous girl, right?
There you go.
Hey, young China, I'm gonna let you respond. Then JA, you can go. Young China, you want to?
Wait, I want to hear what Carter. Let Carter finish.
Let Carter.
No, I was just saying, just because you better than trash, what Grinch was, don't mean you good enough for me. You might be good enough for Chris. You might be good enough for B Jinx, but I care about your past history. If you got 30 bodies in the past, I don't want you. Right? So y'all comparing him to Grinch, he gonna win every time. I'm comparing him to what I expect at USC, and I ain't seen it. And I'll let y'all cook. Go ahead, cook me. Do what y'all do.
Go ahead, Jay. Well, not Jay. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Young China and then Jay.
Yeah, regardless, and okay, so and I'm not gonna say that I don't agree with bro, like you know what I'm saying. But if we gonna do this debate thing that I know he want to do, you know what I'm saying, we gonna be like this. He at the end of the day, it might not be as significant as you want, but he fixed the problem, bro. Our defense is still had liability issues, but it was a huge liability before he arrived, and he fixed that in one season. It looked more organized and disciplined than the Grinch era. We still needed to improve tackling, gap integrity, and communication, but it looked better than his era. Okay, it became functional enough to win games instead of losing them. Okay, how we was losing games due to that. All right, that kind of turnaround. That's not luck. That's system and teaching. You feel me? So the continuity matters more than the flash. We don't need another like reset on defense, bro. A new coordinator that's gonna equal new terminology, new schemes, new teaching methods. Like you feel me? And that says defense is back usually like 1 or 2 seasons. Feel me? We in the Big Ten now where defense consistency like wins games. You feel me? We can't start over and we building now. Like we already like positive 2 years now. You feel me? Well, 1 year now. You know what I'm saying? So keeping Lynn means building year 2 and year 3 growth, not starting over. He fits Lincoln Riley better than most DCs. You know what I mean? Because historically, Riley's team struggle when the defense is overly complex, relies on gimmicks, can't get lined up quickly. Like Lynn approaches NFL influence, but it's simple. You feel me? It emphasizes like execution over volume, and it pairs well with the offense that scores fast. You feel what I'm saying? So that balance is critical for our identity. You know what I'm saying? Players develop under him. You know what I'm saying? One of the most, like, to me, the most underrated reasons to keep Lynn, defensive players, they visibly improve during the season. Young players, they didn't seem too overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? Some veterans we didn't get our return on investment, but some of the veterans, they play faster and more confidently. No names needed. You know what I'm saying? Some of them. So that matters for like retention, buying in, recruiting, especially defensive recruits who want proof of development. We always talk about the development side. You feel me? So like the Big Ten, it makes deep. Hold on, let me finish. The defense, like the Big Ten makes defense non-negotiable, bro. So Like we in the league now that's built on physical run games, tight ends, play action, cold grinded out games, bro. Like his philosophy is Big Ten ready. You know what I'm saying? Like our past like approaches or coaches. Like losing him right now risks like being in a conference with uncertainty on that side of the ball, bro. Which matters the most. We gonna score, but we need the defense. You know what I'm saying?
Hey Carter, before you respond, let me let Carter, before you respond, let me let J.A. chime in, and then Carter, you can rebut on that. J.A., go ahead.
Okay. First of all, when it comes to the statistics, I think those are miscued. And the reason why I think they're miscued, well, I don't think, I know for a fact they're miscued based on the schedule that we had at the front half of the season. So if you look at like when we started playing Illinois, like things were happening at the beginning of the season that we're just like, oh, okay, this is just like when we play. I don't know what team do we play? Missouri State, and all those games, and it's okay, but they would hit a long run, but it would all be straight up the middle. So now we come into the later season of it. When you start getting into the Illinois, you start getting into the Notre Dames, and it start getting gashed even more. Mm-hmm. And it's not to say we like the talent. I don't believe we like the talent. I think a couple things happen. First of all, we're playing a lot of players out of position, which I understand because we have injuries. Right. Like a Kamari Ramsey, or there's just a lot of players playing out of position. Even Gentry is playing out of position the way he normally would play, right? But it's like, at the same time, it's like, okay, well, if you see a lot of other teams, like even like I watched Oregon this year, I watched even Indiana, like like watching a lot of other teams, they'll put a youngster in that position as opposed to playing their great player out of position. So it's like that's just to keep everything as a balance. Like there's no way Kamari would have ever played out of safety. You could bring him in a box, you could do so many different things with him, but like to put him in a slot, it's like nah. Like I'd rather put a freshman in, and we see some of the freshmen that got to play and stuff like that. So it's like relying on some of your younger talent. And then another thing is I'm not opposed to Lynn. I'm not like one of those people like, oh, anti-Lynn or anything like that. If he come back, great. Cool. And then we can like Tiny said, we could be able to have a set system that we've had that our players know within 3 years. Okay. But I do understand that there's a lot of teams that are moving forward. Like I said, Ohio State, that brought a whole nother defensive coordinator, kept a lot of the assistant staff, which we should do, and was able to move forward. It was able to win.
All right. So couple things on that. One step.
Let me reply to Young Tiny real quick before I lose the thought.
Tiny, don't.
I know he probably still listening though.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Carl.
I don't disagree with what Tiny was saying. He was making sense. But what he left out is Lynn is looking at other places. It ain't like USC trying to push Lynn out. I'm saying if we ain't good enough for you, then kick rocks. Especially when you ain't all that to me. Now, I'm just like J.A. I'm not necessarily opposed to Lynn, and I wouldn't fire him and bring just anybody in. Before I can Lynn, I do want to know my next DC, and he do got to be good. I do want to say that I'm not totally against Lynn, but I think he just okay. And if you're just okay and you looking at other places, you need to go, because we need stability here at USC. We need the players to know when they come here, their coaches is going to be there at least the length of their contract. He only been here 2 years, and each off season he been talking to Penn State. So you need to go. That's gonna hurt recruiting.
Let me respond to that real quick, Carter. Yeah, no, on that,
See,
I agree with you, loved one. Now, look, I agree with you. I was saying on the basis of why we should. Like, I'm not saying we pushing him out. I know he the one flirting, but I was saying, I was speaking from a advantage of why we should like feel optimistic and want to keep them. That's all that is. At the end of the day, like we said earlier, we know coordinator is always going to be a shift in and out. Ain't no coordinator going to stay with a coach that long unless you Monty Kiffin or something. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
everybody, because everybody aspire to move on and have their own. Like we just stated that Ohio State, Saban and Autumn, they rotate through plenty because they all go get jobs, they win, and then they go get jobs other places as head coaches, right? So we know the day gonna come where if we win in and he did turn around our defense or whatever, like he gonna get options, but don't be flirt, like don't do that though every year with your alma mater, something like that. Like I said, if he was interviewing for a head coaching job at Cal or you know what I'm
Right.
saying, or something that's
Right.
different. That's
Yeah,
different.
right.
And
But
college
busting that
football,
lateral, yeah.
there's three things. There's three things that you have to, first of all, have in place, and there's three things you have to keep, and there's three things that have to be quality of what you have. That's first of all your AD. Second of all, and this is college football. Second of all, your GM, and third of all, your head coach.
Yeah.
Those have to be
Those are the
consistent.
three areas that you have in today's modern era of college football that have to be in place, that you know are going to be there, that you know have quality, that you know without a shadow of a doubt. Everything else under that it could go wherever it could go.
Great
So
point, J.A. Hold
that,
on, J.A. Hold on. Great point, J.A. Before we keep going, we would like to thank everybody for joining us live on this 4th and 9. Hey, if you haven't hit that subscription button already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for us. Hit that bell for notification for when we drop content during the week. We go live once a week now that it is off season. Well, we got a bowl game coming up in a couple weeks here, but we're gonna go live at least once a week leading up to our bowl game. But appreciate everybody joining us here at 4th and 9 to victory. Go ahead, J.A.
Hit
Hold
that
on,
hype too. Hit that hype
hold on.
button too. The hype button really helped the algorithm. So hit the hype
Appreciate that.
to get my boy's
Let me-
algorithm in motion.
I have to change the baby boy. Whew, right in my lap.
but those three things I think are the caterpillar of building what you really want to build for the future. Because if we look at somebody like Ohio State, and I'm just trying to give or even Oregon, you know, they have their structure in place, but even they lost Tosh Lupoy, or like, you know, even Ohio State lost the offensive coordinator. They lost their offensive coordinator last year too. As a team, once you become successful and you start, like, you know, it's not like the old school, like when Pete Carroll was here, you could keep Norm Chow for 4 or 5 years, and then Norm Chow already had Lane Kiffin and C. Sarkisian there, and you know, it's not like that. It's like those coaches are going to start cycling in and out of systems. They're going to start going for better jobs because you're successful. But that's one of the best things about being successful, and that's what Nick Saban showed us.
Before anybody else goes, hey, I want to welcome our friend Paulie Walnuts to the show. Welcome, Paulie. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Sorry, man. I've had so much going on with work. I haven't been able to chime in. I just caught the last part of it. Hopefully, I'm not too late. I just wanted to chime in a little with everything that's going on. First of all, I want to all you guys out there, Carter, I see you're on too. Merry Christmas, and wishing you guys nothing but the best,
What's
man.
up?
And so, hey, so anyway, man, let's get down to this whole point with the whole situation. I believe what Carter's saying. I believe what everybody, a little bit of what everybody's saying. But the one thing that concerns me the most is, are you, if I'm speaking to Lynn, to Danton, I'm asking him, are you sold on the vision or not? Because if you're sold on the vision, you're gonna ride this thing through until we get to where we want and the goals that we set as a team. Oh, and if you're not, then you know what? Go ahead and go get your other job that you're itching for, that you want, that you need, that to make you happy. Because right now, I'm at the point where if you're not on board with what we're trying to do, then by all means, man, you need to go ahead and do your thing. There's a lot of certain players that are doing that as well. This is a whole new side of college football that I've never seen in my entire life, man. It's unfolding before our eyes. Is it safe to say now, guys, that these are professional athletes now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
the minute they started with the transfer portal, unlimited transfers, and that which is free agency. Let's just put that out
Yeah.
there. That's free agency, and NIL, which is payments. To me, if you ask me, I think they got it better than a lot of NFL players because a lot of NFL players sign 2 to 3, maybe even 4-year contracts. With them, theirs is 1 season. Then they can dip. They can take that NIL and go somewhere else. So they're no
Yep.
longer amateur athletes. This is a professional. This is a professional league now.
And
Yeah, but the
maybe
coaches look at it the same way. So imagine looking at a coach going, the like, okay, so we got all these players that go like, and we can all agree probably on this. They bag chasing a lot of times. If not, they just want to be where they want to be. Well, what happens when coaches want to do that?
But you know what? Let me tell you one thing, man. Being in marketing for what 20 something years, man, and I see marketing at its finest when it comes to what USC is trying to do. We're trying to set the level so high to show that we are pretty much transitioning into this next phase as professional and dynamic and innovative as I've ever seen, bro. When they're coming in saying so and so re-signs with USC, that right there is setting the bar as an organization, showing the world that we are top notch class, that we are all about developing, these young guys and getting them to that next level. Because ultimately, that's what it's coming down to is
Right.
development. It's kind of, we're just like a little stop by for them to get what they need and then get them to that next level. In return, we win and they look good and they go to the NFL. But man, I'm really excited about this whole new change. I mean, yeah, of course, I hate to see the guys leave, but at the same time, the fact the just the ability to be able to bring in someone that could possibly change it. And as far as Lynn goes, that whole situation, you know what, man? I don't think it's him. I think it's more the schematic thing. He said it himself earlier in the year. This has been the hardest year of coaching for him because of the ability of these guys being they're so young that it was a challenge for him to get these guys to play that certain type of defense. So I don't know, man. I have no idea. I'm kind of torn on it. If he goes, he goes. I'd like to keep it. Obviously, they're not going to keep it in house, but I'd like to see Doug Bell kind of run that thing for a while until they find someone. If he does leave, but be honest with you, I don't think he's leaving, man.
Yeah.
And so,
And I
Paulie,
Hey, Paulie made me forget something I forgot.
Go ahead.
Y'all don't
Go ahead.
even want me to add in the off the field stuff I hear about Lynn and what some of the players say about Lynn.
Carter,
Mhm.
When
we're
I
not gonna
factor
get
that in,
personal.
he
Carter,
really
don't
need to
get
go.
personal now, Carter. Don't
Nah,
go down
it
that
ain't
way.
personal. It's
Yes,
me
it is.
relaying messages. I talked to a couple of players like, it ain't me. Don't shoot the messenger. I don't
You say
play
I was
for
shooting the
Lynn.
messenger.
Yeah, don't
Carl,
shoot
we
the
gonna say,
messenger.
Carl, we ain't gonna take your shine. We're gonna say that for you to do on your channel. You can share your messages.
What
Nah,
what
I
I
can't
can
even. No,
say
I
though,
ain't even gonna do it. I ain't even gonna do it. If he stay,
Yeah,
I ain't
we ain't
gonna
gonna do
do
it
it.
on here. It's your
what
messages.
I
We'll
can't
let you
what I
deal
can
with
say.
it.
Go
Hey,
ahead,
look,
Tommy. Go ahead,
look.
Tommy.
In agreement with my bro Carter though, why I do feel like it's not good if it's an annual thing like it's been, because it creates like quiet instability. You feel me? If nothing
Yeah.
happens publicly, eternally, like even if nothing happens publicly, internally, players notice, recruits hear it, assistants wonder who they gonna be working for next year. You feel me? So like defense needs, like I said earlier, continuity and trust. Yearly
Every
rumors that it undermines that. It
yeah,
weakens recruiting
everybody
credibility.
needs
Hold on, let
everybody
me
needs
finish
to
real
buy
quick,
into
Polly.
the
Yeah,
everybody needs to believe in the vision, man. And if you're gonna be bouncing around every year,
right.
hey, this is a vision, goals that we set. I know Lynn and Jen and all of them, they set these goals
Mm-hmm.
to get us, and they're going in all don't get me wrong, 2027 is when I think they're gonna reach that pinnacle, but there's no messing around, man. I can just tell with the way they're
Yeah,
going about with their moves, they're all in this year, man, and they're
yeah.
gonna try to win this damn thing. And
It
so,
weakens recruiting credibility too, because on the trail defense
yeah,
recruits, they want to know who will my position coach be? Is my coordinator still be there?
yeah,
Like it's like even though a lot of these recruits is committing to SC, let's keep it real. Like it's still like, you feel me? It sets a stability for them. Like, you feel me? And then like turning retention to a yearly negotiation, that's like that ain't cool, bro. You feel
All
me?
right,
Like
with
I don't
that,
know.
Hey, they
hey,
asking in the
Tiny, I
chat
think,
like,
hold
if
on,
Lynn do
hold on,
leave,
Jay. Hold on. Hey, because we're gonna have to get out soon, so we're gonna flip the we're gonna flip the coin here real fast, and we'll let you guys go for a couple minutes apiece. We're gonna put you on the clock, so
Uh-huh.
it don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love the channel, brother.
Before I flip the coin here, Carter, somebody asked you a question in the chat. They said, "Wait," they said, "Carter, off the field is Lynn spreading and smashing like Sharon Moore?" Jerome.
Is that what he had?
Hey, I ain't even gonna lie. I wish that was the problem.
All right, so we're gonna have our so to wrap it up, we're gonna have our speed round.
Yeah, so here we go. So we're gonna
yeah.
flip the coin. I'll start at the top of the screen. Then B, we'll close it out.
Yeah.
So this question is for everybody. I'll call your name so you can go. We're gonna give you a couple minutes. We're gonna flip the coin here. So we've been looking at this from Deontay Lynn's point of view, right? He's his Penn State, his alumni, that recruiting class, everything that's going on. So we're gonna flip the coin, right? From a USC perspective, right? There's one thing that everybody needs in life, they craves in life, no matter if it's a friendship or relationship, right? It's a life lesson. Everyone craves consistency, right? And as you look at it from the USC perspective, right? We've seen this 2 years in a row. Last year we gave you a pay raise. This year I don't think Bowden will give him a pay raise. That if he want to go, he'll let him go. But we'll see about all that. You don't know the details. But if we flip the coin, right? It's about consistency. Consistency can be good and bad, right? You can be consistently good or you can be consistently bad, right? But if you're consistent, at least you show me who you are, and I know who you are, and I know how to govern myself around you, right? With your consistency. So he's shown us in 2 years that he's willing to entertain other jobs, right? He's been here 2 years.
Yeah.
Each off season he's entertained, right? He's been consistent at that. So starting with you, JA, as you stand into Chad Bowden into Jen Cohen's position, are you even trying to negotiate at this point to keep him, or are you saying if you want to go, we're not giving you another raise, go ahead and go?
No, I'm not negotiating not one number with him or anything. I'm just gonna be like, hey, listen, this is what the number is. This is what we're paying you. We already gave you this amount. And I think of it as a grab. Like even when Paulie was talking earlier and he was talking about how like, hey, I think you were saying like something about like the young team and everything. Like what are you going into Penn State for? They have no recruits. They didn't recruit nobody. They haven't built a team. Their team is gutted. And then when you look at it, they have no upperclassmen because their previous coach took all them with him. So it's like what are we doing? And we just had the number one recruiting class. We got a lot of youngsters coming back. It's more or less like I think it's a money grab. That's just my opinion, but hey, everybody has their own opinion. But no, to answer your question, no.
All right. Polly, you're on the clock. Before you go real fast, Polly, B, did we let Charles in? It looked like someone Charles Thomas or something.
That's Carter.
Oh, okay.
He got like 3 or 4 different aliases, man.
Man, God, leave, Cole.
Man, this is my only one, man. Y'all tripping. This is
Man,
my
I
only
ain't never
one.
seen Charles. I ain't never seen no Charles Thomas.
On IG,
I
you
ain't
somebody
never
else
seen no
on IG.
Charles Thomas
Carter.
nowhere.
Don't do that, Carter. You somebody
All
else
right,
on
Polly
IG.
Walnuts, you on the clock.
All right, you're right. Well, the way I look at it is I look at the front office right now, basically taking a stance as well. Let's see what they're going to pay him, and if it's something respectable that's for the sake of continuity, we can maybe top that offer and keep everything intact. Or if not, then you let him move on. I think the reason is, and I understand completely with the last gentleman I that was speaking about how like why would he want to leave? Well, first of all, I think it's the Matt Campbell factor. Sometimes jobs are a little bit too big for guys from smaller programs. Not all the time, but sometimes it is. And Penn State is kind of a mess right now. I believe it's his one chance, to start getting his foot in the door there to potentially take over as head coach eventually down the way. I think that's a big reason why he would probably want to leave. But you know what? Like I said, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do whatever this is. What I trust in the process, and whatever Jen and Lincoln are down with, that's what I'm rolling with, man.
All right, Young Tiny, you're on the clock.
First, let me say I agree with Polly, but from my spin, from a USC first program perspective, the smart answer will be conditional negotiation, not a blind bidding war, not a shrug and let him walk either though. Okay. So it's like the decision framework USC should be using is like I was thinking UCLA when he left there. But we should negotiate but with clear limits. So you do try to keep him because let's keep it real. Like I said earlier, he stabilized the defense, he fits Riley's offense, you know what I mean? And like Polly just stated, continuity matters in the Big Ten. But the negotiation should answer one key question, y'all. Do you want to be here long term, or are we just a stop before Penn State? And if the answer isn't clear, then we shouldn't overextend. You know what I'm saying? Like we should offer structure, not just money. You know what I mean? Because like, okay, you got competitive pay, but not top market like escalation every year. You feel me? You like the defined role, security got to be in place, the multi-year vision, and we should also negotiate buyout protection because that discourages people from annually flirting like that. If we have buyout protection, you get what I'm saying? So we should let him go. Like if Penn State is as clearly his end goal, get on. You feel me? If you won't commit beyond a short window, get on. If negotiation
he got to pay a buyout. I think that's what the holdup.
No, I know. I'm saying we're saying like if we end up at the question was like should we continue to negotiate to keep them, right? That's what the initial question was, right?
That's what it was. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so negotiations feel like leverage plays, not partnership. You know what I'm saying? Let's let him go. But like, I feel like what Polly said, I'm spot on with Polly. You know what I'm saying? We already raised the defensive floor. The program now knows what functional defense look like. We could hire from like a stronger position and beyond than when he arrived. So the worst outcome isn't losing him. It's like losing leverage, in my opinion. But, I will have that type of negotiation, but not no flat out bidding war, especially not annually.
Hey, bring up real fast for Carter Cook, Jacoby's statement about Joe Burrow and all them. Jacoby, you do realize everybody you named in there outside of Arch transferred? Them all transfer quarterbacks. And Fernando Mendoza was starting before his junior year. He started at Cal when we had Grinch. He was a starting quarterback.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and everybody you named in there outside of Arch is a transfer. So I can't say they waited.
Carter, you up?
Carter, you on the clock?
Yeah, I mean I'll renegotiate a pay cut. I'm renegotiating. I need some of my money. I need some of my money back for reals. I'm serious though. Look, let's keep it real, y'all. Look, on a serious note, let's keep it real. Soon as we make the playoffs, Lynn is gone. Soon as we have any real good season, Lynn, he out of there. So I feel like let's break up with him before he break up with us. Because he clearly is trying to date other people while he in a relationship with us. So let's break up with him now and let's go get the Texas DC. Or let's go get Jonathan Smith, the former Oregon State coach. He used to give our offense problems with them 3 stars up there at Oregon State. So let's get Lynn out now so we could get that Texas DC. There's a couple of them out there right now that's nice. So I'll renegotiate a pay cut or be like, you got to sign an extension and promise you ain't going nowhere. Because that's the only way he worth it to me if he going to stay and keep building his system. And we going to get the talent. So I do think Lynn can win with talent. So that's the 50-50 thing or the catch-22 with me and Lynn. I know I talk about him, but I do think if we had that A1 talent, I do think he would win with it. I do. But at the same time, you got to be a Trojan. You got to be committed to us, bro.
Yep.
I'm thinking. All right, B, you on the clock, big dog.
All right. My opinion, I don't say you negotiate with this dude every year. Again,
for real,
man. Yeah.
Again,
we found ourselves in the same situation last season. Now, again, if he did what Matt Ince did, left even if it had to go to a lower tier school to get a head coaching job, that's different. You can't knock a man for that. He's becoming his own leader. He's becoming his own head coach. He's going to be making these decisions. But if you talk about leaving for, in my opinion, for a lesser program for the same position, every season we got to worry about that. Think about it like this. The whole vision that you had, the plan that you had for the recruits that you tell them to come in, he's been the only one that's been interviewing. The rest of the staff hasn't. Henny hasn't. Nua hasn't. Belk or Reed hasn't. I can't say anything for what's my man Ryan, because this is his first season.
It's Belk's first. I mean, it's
his first season at the college coaching level. You know, with
the cornerback Reed's first year too.
Reed. But
Savage,
I haven't heard of anybody else, even Savage. I haven't heard. I'm talking about on the defensive side. I haven't heard of anybody else talk about interviewing for another position except for him, and he's the head over on the defensive side. Again, for the same team. So no, I don't negotiate another penny. Of course, you know, Carter says negotiate for a decrease. I don't know who's going to do that. But I don't if I'm Chad, because he'll have the overall say so, Chad and Jen. I don't think Riley has anything to do with it. If I'm Chad or Jen, I don't give this guy another dime. And it's not because, you know, he hasn't made progress. He's made progress whether we all want to admit it or not. Just like Young Tyner said, and Chris said, every year he has made progress. But I can't continue to worry about you year after year when I'm building something here. We've progressively gotten better. Even from a record standpoint, from a stat standpoint, we've gotten better. And the mission has been the same. Yeah, facilities. Everybody has bought in except for you. Everybody has, I repeat it again, everybody has bought into it except for you.
Yeah,
so,
to
no,
the vision, man.
I don't offer this guy another penny. If you want to leave, I would love to see maybe Belk call some plays. He's got some experience, but my only worry is this, and then I'll yield the floor to you, Chris. My only worry is this. If you bring in a new DC, you have to allow him latitude to bring his own staff, which means that the coaches that we love, Coach Henny, Coach Noah, Coach Belk, Coach Reed, it's a good chance we may lose them. Whether you guys want to admit, hey, look, you know, whoever comes, you know, they're gonna have to negotiate keeping the staff. You can't do it like that. You can't pigeonhole me to allow me to be your defensive coordinator, but then tell me I can't bring my own guys with me, the guys that I trust. So keep that in mind. And when you
BJ, let me ask you this.
Hold on, Paulie, real quick. And when I want you guys to keep this in mind. When you start losing position coaches, that's when you start losing players where they want to admit, hey, look, we come to the school regardless. No, you're going to lose some players when you lose those position coaches. Because to be honest, that's why a lot of players commit, because of these position coaches. So you're going to lose some. Go ahead. What was your question, Paulie?
Yeah, let me ask all of you guys this question here. So if they decide to keep it in-house, which I think would be the right decision, but
Paulie, hold on. Paulie, hold on. I got your question. I'll ask it after this. Let's stay on topic, finish this question, then we'll do your question and we'll close it out.
Okay.
I know the question you're about to ask. All right, but let's stay on topic to get through this one. And I'm gonna be short. Again, I talked about I need consistency in my life, right?
Yeah, of course.
I need it good and bad, right? That way I know how to govern myself around you. I know how to treat you. I know how, if I need to keep your arms distant, arm reach, right? I need you to be consistent. If you're gonna love me, you're gonna have to love me through the good. I need consistency, no matter if it's good or bad. I know how to govern myself. You can't be a
part-time lover.
Right. Yeah. So for me, I'm not negotiating for the simple fact it's not like we negotiated 5 years ago. Yeah. We just gave you a raise last year. Yes, the defense is making improvements each year, but to what Carter said, the improvements hasn't took that big of a jump to warrant another raise this year. From what we've seen from last year, right? Outside of like the Illinois game this year, yes, defense wasn't getting scored on at the end of the game in the last 2 minutes of the game and all that, but the defense still wasn't where we needed to be that warrant another raise, right? Not only that, we just gave you a raise last year, and again, we're back at the same spot. And so, to me, this is more about culture. Jen Cohen, and Chad Bowen, what type of culture Lincoln Riley do you want to have, right? And if the culture is going to be, this is USC, we the place to be. We need to act like it, right? And we can't allow someone to want to renegotiate their contract every year or threaten to go somewhere else, and we're begging and pulling them stay, and we giving you a raise every year. That's just not a way to run a program. At some point, like you said, Polly, either you're going to be with us or you're going to be gone. Everybody else is buying into the vision. Everybody else is on the new NIL, the facility, the future of this team, and you seem to be the only one. There's some other coaches on this staff. I'm pretty sure if they put their filter out there, they'll get hired today and get better positions, right? Chad Savage, somebody would pick him up in a heartbeat. Not only is he a great recruiter, but look what he did with the inside and tight ends this year, right? Somebody offered that offensive line coach, even though he got the title offensive coordinator, he's not calling plays. You know, Riley is. What he did, somebody would offer him if he put his name in filter out. No one's doing that. You're the only coach doing it, and you're doing it for 2 years in a row. So fix the culture, set the culture, and I say no, I wouldn't give him a raise. But we're going to get out of here. We're going to answer Polly's question. We're going to start with you, J.A. We're going to give you 30 seconds to answer each.
Let Paula ask the question real quick. Paula, go ahead and ask
Yeah,
question.
I gotta get going, but really quickly, guys. I know that you know what it's not a good look when your coach sells the entire program on a vision, but your D coordinator is not on that ride. That's not a good look right there. That tells me if the chemistry's not there, kill it now, cut the cancer out, and let's go ahead and let's move on and get someone on board who is part of that vision. But what I'm asking, if they do this guy ends up leaving, and we need to promote someone within really quickly, who are you plugging in there? Are you plugging in Coach Henny, who has the pizzazz and the this and that, or do you call Belk, who runs a solid crew, does the best, and looks like a great future coordinator?
All right, Polly,
you picking?
You're freezing up, but I got your question. So, Jay, you're on the clock. If we promote from within on the defensive side of the ball, who would you promote to be the DC? Is what Polly's asking.
Guys.
Fight on, Polly.
Fight on, Polly. I think the blessed thing about this defensive staff, we have multiple individuals we could do it with.
All right, we got 30 seconds. Man. You got who?
Okay, we got multiple individuals. I'm not gonna pick one. All I'm gonna say is, if you see what Ohio State did, they had Chip Kelly. He came in. They still kept Hartline, right? Hartline moved up. Then from there, he left, but I'm sure they got somebody else in the wings. So we got enough people in the wings to be able. If he decides to go, we could be able to promote up and keep on moving forward with no problem.
All right, Young Tiny, who you promoting up? J.A. got off the question. You want to answer it?
Shoot, most logical. I'll Eric Henderson. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Associate. He already associate head coach defense. That's the best all around internal candidate. It makes sense. He already has a associate head coach responsibility, so that's leadership trust. He has an NFL background with the Rams, so he has scheme credibility. He has a strong edge, front seven development. He's familiar with Lynn structure and terminology, and I would like him as
Walk that. We ain't seen no strong. Walk that.
I'm saying he does. No, I'm saying he has the potential to bring that, the strong edge to bring that. We haven't seen that, but I'm saying I will say that Eric Henderson, you know what I'm saying, for what he done did with the Rams, and I'm just saying his proven track record. I'm not saying we've seen that. Of course, we ain't seen that with SC, but I feel he has a strong edge to have a front, for front seven development eventually. And I just feel like the minimum system disruption, it commands respect immediately. He's a great recruiter, and he could keep us Big Ten ready physicality intact wise. You know what I mean? But the concern will be, I got to have a concern. He hasn't been a full Power 5 DC yet. You know what I'm saying? But he's the closest internally. And that's who I would go with. I would go with him over Nua and all them. So I don't know.
Carter, you on the clock, man.
You on the clock?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, this is a tough one. I know Riley gonna go Henny because if you look at the USC website, Henny is listed as the co-defensive coordinator anyway. So if something was to happen to Lynn during the season or in the game,
Mm-hmm.
Henny would have been the DC. So
And
Riley
associate
probably,
head coach.
yeah. So Riley probably picked Henny, but I think I would go with Doug Belk or make them both defensive coordinators, make them both because Doug Belk, he got the experience calling plays, and I think Henny will be what?
Yeah, give me. You can name one. You can't. We ain't gonna let you slide with naming two and Cole. Name one. Who would you put in? Who would you put as defensive coordinator if you had to hire internally?
Man, I hate y'all. because look, I'm gonna answer, but before I answer, the reason it's tough for me is because recruiting is so important in college football, and I know Henny is a great recruiter, but damn, Doug Belk is too. But Henny got that energy to rile you up like a coach. I see everybody in the chat like, oh, we want Coach O. Like we got the new Coach O and Coach Henny.
Thank you. That's why I
We
said
got the
that,
new
bro.
Coach O with Coach Henny, so I gotta go with Henny because he got the total package. But I would want Belk involved in the game planning and the play calling though. But yeah, I'll choose Henny because it's energy though. And I know his mentality would trickle down on the team. My bad. I know his mentality, that dog work. I would like to see our defense truly embody that.
B, who you got, big
All
dog?
right, for me, because so much is riding on next season, man. Offensively, I think we're fine, but I want to go with Belk. He has the experience. He was a DC at Houston, before they parted ways with him for whatever reason they chose to. But because we got so much riding on next season, and I think this thing has been held on by a string from a defensive perspective. I think we need to have that person that person in the locker room with these guys who's been there for the past couple of years. I think because of the experience calling the plays, that gives Belk the edge over Henny. So for me, it's going to be Belk if I had to choose one.
All right. For me, we ride. We don't always ride together same, right? It's Belk has the experience. Belk is a top recruiter as well as actually being a DC, right? Henny has never called plays, right? He's been a defensive line coach. There's only two guys on our defense that's called plays and been a DC, right? Ryan and Belk. I would give it to Belk. Belk's freshly coming off the college game, right? Being at Houston, understanding how to relate to the kids, teach a scheme and all that, and deal with the college kids to get up to speed a lot sooner than Ryan. So I would definitely, my top would be out of Ryan and Belk, but I would definitely go with Belk. And if we got to go internally, I would go with Belk as the DC. If we go internally.
If Henny's the DC, there's going to be a lot of stunts and a lot of blitzing.
I mean, that's what you need.
Yeah,
for real.
Especially stunting. But all right, everybody, man, we appreciate y'all, man. We've been here almost 2 hours, man. We're going to call it. Next week, Thursday, is Christmas. So we're definitely going to be with our families. We won't be on. We'll send a post out if we decide to go Friday or Tuesday or some other day that we definitely not going to go on Wednesday. That's the Lights of Torch day. So one of our brother networks, definitely want to be respectful of them and not be on at the same time.
I was just talking about this.
You said what?
I think you were talking about something else. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we definitely appreciate everyone that stopped through in the comments, everyone that called in. Big shouts out to Polly Walnuts. You guys make sure you check out his channel on YouTube, Calling Shots with Polly Walnuts. Our boy Carter Sports down here at the below screen. Carter, shout your page out. Want to make sure I send it to the right
Carter
one.
Sports and TV. I got the Carter Sports and TV, and I got the Trojan Gang or Don't Bang. You want all USC content? Go subscribe to that channel. If you don't mind everything, keep walking with Carter Sports. But hey, this sub up for them both for your boy.
What'd he say?
What
Say
was
it
the
again,
last
Carter.
one, Carter?
No, I said sub up to both channels
Oh,
for
yeah,
me.
okay. Okay.
Oh
we got-
yeah. Make sure y'all subscribe to both his channels. Poly Walnuts, Like the Torch podcast. One of our brother networks as well. Make sure you go out and subscribe and like as well. Carter got a few videos he dropped this week, man. So if y'all ain't check this channel out, go see him. He got a video with Portal wish list. Carter, and you got another video I think came out this week. Was it about Longstreet?
I got one about Longstreet. I got one about the portal. I just dropped one about Floyd Bucard re-signing his NIL. Y'all talked about that?
Nah, we ain't even get
of
there.
that. Well, go check out the video. He re-signed with us. He was one of our latest re-signings. A lot of more players signed that y'all don't know about. They just waiting to announce it.
Okay.
Space that good news out. Space that good news out.
Yeah, that's what they doing. I ain't mad at them.
But already, man, appreciate you, Jay. Always coming in, man, giving us some nuggets, dropping some knowledge, man. We appreciate you stopping in, Young Tiny. Appreciate you as always. Man, I did see Leon in the chat, but Leon didn't hop on today.
Yeah, Leon's in the chat. Again, shout out to Leon.
Wasn't the plan without you, Leon. Wasn't the plan without you, big dog.
All right. Like the torch. Go over there, check out their channel. B Jones, Black and Chance, Raul, and Guns. Appreciate you guys for stopping by, and everybody that joined the live today. Again, thank you guys for stopping by. If you haven't subbed already, go ahead and hit that subscription button, hit that like, and hit the bell for notification when we drop content. Like my running mates Chris said, we won't be on next Thursday because that's Christmas. We want you guys to have a safe and happy holidays. Enjoy your family. We may do something either that Tuesday or maybe that Friday after Christmas. We got the bowl game coming up, so look out for our preview of the TCU USC Trojans versus TCU. We should be the home team, so I like when we play in that cardinal and gold. But the next thing we got coming up may be who's going to be available for the bowl game. So that may be the next show that we have. But again, we appreciate everybody that joined us live today. Thank you.
All right, man. As always, we appreciate everyone. Until later on, as always, fight on, fight on.
Fight on.
Fight on.
Fight on, y'all.